Okay, today we are talking about writing website copy that converts. How is conversion copywriting different from just regular copywriting? Well, conversion copywriting, it's not the same as writing a book, a blog post, or an essay. It's writing for a persuasion. It's not trying to get an A on a paper. Of course, you want good grammar, but the goal is different. When you're writing for conversions, it's really, you're just writing conversationally how you would speak to someone with an intention to persuade them to do something. Just like how you might have convinced your kid to do or not do something, or your spouse to agree with you on something. That is persuasion, and that is persuasion writing for conversions. So if you have the ability, or you have ever convinced someone to do something, you have the ability to write conversion copy. You don't have to be an English teacher to do this. Anyone can do it. So what is conversions? Conversions is basically a change in a state or a status. So a change in mind, a change in a status. So an example would be a website browser to a subscriber, or a browser to a website donor, or a purchaser, right? It's a before state and an after state. And all we're trying to do with the copy is take them from the before state to the after state. So we're persuading them to do this. When you set out to write conversion copy, you have to start with the goal. What is the goal of your website? What is the action, the call to action that you're trying to get people to do? Do you want people to call you, pick up the phone and call? Do you want them to schedule a strategy call by scheduling on an online calendar? Do you want them to register for your event? Do you want them to watch your podcast, download a free resource, fill out your contact form, sign up for your newsletter? What is it? What is the call to action? You have to know that before you start out writing your conversion copy, because we need to know what the conversion is. So there's a few key elements that really separates regular copywriting from conversion copywriting. And one of the main key things is conversion copywriting needs to solve your reader's problem. Your website copy should be there to solve their problem. Let's say, for example, you have a mobile automotive detailing service. The problem you're solving is convenience. The first objective is to immediately explain the problem that you solve in your copy. So you want to really get right to the point and explain what the problem is and how you solve it. The closer your copy describes their exact problem, the closer you are to the conversion. So here's your action step for this one, is to find out what your customer's problem is. What is it that's keeping them up at night? To find out, you can simply just ask your previous customers, like, what was it that led you to sign on with us? Or, what was it that was the problem? If you can't find out. Another place is just to go to online groups where your customers are hanging out and listen to what they're saying and the problems that they are having. Also, take note of the language that they are using. And this segues us into the next item, and that is to speak to them in their own language. This has kind of two parts. First part is you want to talk to them using you. You want to talk to them conversationally as if you are talking to them and not about yourself. Avoid talking about yourself. Don't use we's and us and our companies and I's. Shift the focus on them and use the word you. This is going to keep the conversation on them and not on you. Think about a time where you've been in a conversation with another person and they kept shifting the conversation back to themselves. Well, that conversation probably got really boring and was very uninteresting. Adversely, when you're in conversations and they're constantly talking about you, you feel more drawn to that conversation and to that person. And on the flip side, if you're doing that to someone else, they're more drawn to you. So this is what you want to do in your persuasive or conversion ad or your conversion copy. The other piece of this is you also want to make sure that you use the words that they use and avoid jargon words. That's only going to alienate them from the conversation if you're using words that they don't understand. And speaking of that, the next word that we're going to use is buyer journey. So a buyer journey is basically, think of it as like a funnel of where your potential customer is at. There's the high funnel and then there's the low funnel. And in the high funnel, they're maybe just getting aware of you and the problem. In the mid funnel, they're aware of you and the problem and they're just maybe researching. And in the bottom of the funnel, they're ready to buy. Okay, so that's a buyer's journey, just high level. Okay, so you have people visiting your website and they are in various stages of the buyer journey. You have people that are visiting your site for the first time. They may be coming from an ad, a link, maybe they Googled you. They're there to learn about you, who you are, what you do, and what problem you solve. On the flip side, you have people visiting your site that are ready to pull out their wallets and buy right now. So the point is you have different people in different places in different states of mind visiting your website. So this can kind of present a bit of an issue, right? So let's think of your main homepage, your main landing page. This is the page that most people are going to hit when they come to your website. If we're trying to write content for someone who is in the right stage, how do we do that? So let's think about this homepage. What you need to do is figure out the following item. Out of the majority of the people visiting your website, where are they at in the buyer journey? And then write for them. Okay, so this opens up two different components that we really kind of need to unpack. One is the buyer journey and what content should you have in it. The other one is how to know where the majority of the people are in that buyer journey that are visiting your homepage. Well, let's first jump into the buyer journey. We just discussed, let's just break it down into 3 levels, right? We have high level, we have mid-level, and low level. High level funnel traffic, these are the people that are just learning about you. So your content should introduce the problem, introduce how you solve it, be very much about you. You're really trying to persuade them to, come into your funnel, take the next step, right? Okay, the next one is your mid funnel. So these are the people that are in the research mode. Maybe they know about you, maybe they know about somebody else, but they know about the problem. They're just kind of looking for more information about who can help and how you can help. This is valuable content here is like a lead magnet. So a great episode to watch about lead magnets is the last episode where we talk about lead magnets. So go listen to that one after this. But in the mid-funnel traffic, you just want to provide value. You want to leverage yourself as the expert, as their solution. Low funnel traffic, these are people ready to buy. So you want to remove all of the fluff, you want to get down to brass tacks, and you want to make the process smooth and easy. So if that person comes to your site and they're ready to buy, make it easy for them to navigate to the place they go to do that. And once they get there, an easy process for them to do that. Make it easy for them to give you money. Okay, so for example, let's talk about where people are at in your funnel and how to tell like the majority of the people visiting your website and where they're at in your funnel. For example, one way to tell is let's take like a dentist office website. Most people visiting a dentist office website are not going there to learn about the basics of dental care, like for the first time, right? Everybody knows they have teeth. Everybody knows that they're a dentist, and everybody knows that they need to go to a dentist. Whether they do or not, everybody knows these things. We don't need to go online to research this. Now, there might be some pieces of dentistry that we might want to learn more about, but we may not be going to a dentist website to learn that. We're probably learning that in other areas. What majority of the traffic going to a dental website is going there to either because they were referred, somebody told them, they're looking to switch dentist, whatever, right? They're going to learn more about that dentistry, that office, what they offer, who they are, not necessarily education on dental. Okay. Maybe another case, though, alternatively, like a flip side of that, is maybe that dentist office is running a Facebook ad about same-day crowns. Well, now you have an audience that probably doesn't know anything about same-day crowns, and there is an education component. So now you probably want to have a landing page where that copy isn't talking about the dentist office, it's talking about the same-day crown and educating people on the benefits. And now you're getting more into that persuasive copy, right? You're selling something, people don't know about it. You have to, show them what it's all about. So the copy will change based off of the audience. So that is a key part right there. And then there is a couple other items that you really want to include in your copy to make it convert and persuasive. And that is to set yourself apart. So if you're a service-based business, what we see a lot of times is if you were to take a business, let's say a yoga studio. Let's say you take a yoga studio and you look in that area of the competing yoga studios, more than not, you see a lot of similarities in looks and feels and design and even like in the copy, the way they say things, how they say things, what they offer, how they package it. It's very similar. Or even let's say CrossFit, right? So it's so similar from one CrossFit gym to the next. Like you need to really set yourself apart from your competition with your copy. Like you can look different, great, but you also need to have your copy be different. Some things that can set you apart is credibility. And this is another thing you should have on any pages where you are trying to persuade someone is credibility. Obviously, like testimonials and anything that can show the things that you have done that make you credible. People you've worked with, money, how you've saved people money, case studies, stories, customer testimonials, all of these things that build credibility. The different types of businesses you've worked with, all of these things. Okay. The other one is uniqueness and relevance. Right? So the copy should be very, very relevant to the person visiting your site. And uniqueness is what can you say? How can you say it that's different from the other guy? How can you stand out? And think about it in a conversation. If you were to have let's say you're in a big group of people and there was a ton of your competition in this room, and everybody's saying the same thing, having the same conversations. What type of conversations can you have that's going to give you, that's going to make you stand out amongst all of the other people? Okay, so you need to set yourself apart. The other item, the very last item, is you have to ask for the sale. And this is probably where people stop and they just fall short, is the whole asking for the sale, right? You have a call to action, you have all of this copy, but if you don't ask for the sale, no one's going to buy. You have to ask for the sale. Ask them, are you interested in this? Are you interested in this enough to buy today? You need to do this. And if you're not asking for the sale, then you're missing out on a huge opportunity. So here are your action items. 1, discover your customers' problems, their pain points. What keeps them up at night? How do you solve that problem? Then 2, think about where the majority of your visitors are visiting your website visitors. Where's the majority of them in your buying journey? And write that persuasive copy to them. Now, yes, there are going to be people that don't fall into that group. And that's okay because we're catering to the majority. And that majority is the people that are going to need the most attention because they're the majority. You will have opportunities in the other areas of your site to make copy for the people that don't fall into the majority. And you should. So write to the majority. Number 3, go to our website and download our Create Irresistible website content that converts blueprint. It's currently $9.99, and there are some additional bonus offers. This is going to give you everything you need to create or recreate your website copy. And that copy is going to then attract and convert your ideal customers. I'll put the link to that in the show notes. It's liquisdigital.com/resources, and you'll find it there. Or just go to our website and go to the resource tab. All right, so that wraps us up for today. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe, leave us a review, and don't forget to tell your friends. We'll see you in the next episode.